back with William again now. We're into his track vehicles, and he's got things hiding from me, which I've never seen before. And this is a D4, William, isn't it?
D4, that's right, it is.
You've got too many machines, I think, William. I think you should share a few with me. And how long have you had this for?
Probably about 10 years, I suppose. What the story of that is, my brother-in-law, who unfortunately is dead now, he was a great ploughing man. He enjoyed ploughing, and particularly with D2s that he used to have when he was a lot younger. And he saw a particular 5-furrow plough in a field down near Rye, and kept persuading us to go and get it. And eventually we got this 5-furrow plough, and then we said, well, we weren't into sort of old tractors and ploughing much then.
Yep.
And so we hadn't got anything to pull it with, but my brother did have a small Alice Chalmers crawler, Alice M, which really wasn't man enough for this 5-furrow plough, you see. So he said, well, what do you want? It's a D4. That's my brother-in-law told me he wanted a D4, so I said, all right, well, I'll go and look for one. And so we went up and round and eventually came back with this D4, which looks a bit dirty and scruffy because I haven't had it out for quite a long time.
Well, let me have a walk round it.
But I did start it up a month ago, and it started up very well.
Well, they do. Once again, we're back into proper engineering. It's got a little donkey engine on what starts it. Little petrol donkey engine on.
Right.
Oh, you've got a battery connected to it, so now.
This one was one of the later ones of this model, and it's got a starter motor on the donkey engine, which is unusual, really.
Yes, because I know that a chap I know's converted his to a battery one, but it runs up a pulley onto a rubber belt that goes around the actual pull string.
Yes, which is the other pull string point is still there.
Oh, okay.
But you don't use that, no.
No.
This one's got the starter motor up here.
Oh, right, yes, I can see that now.
And there's a belt down inside there.
Fantastic.
I thought that it was important to... when I saw this one with this starter motor, I was particularly went for it because if you've got something like this on a low loader, and then you've got to pull a string and you
fall off
the low loader.
No, you don't want to be doing that, do you,
No,
William?
so one with a starter motor on there was just right.
Yeah.
And this there again, it's all rather dirty and scruffy and.
Yeah, but you still got it, and it's under a shed.
Yes, that's right.
So, if you don't get round to doing it, I'm sure your sons will.
Yes.
I can see something alongside it as well, William. You're hiding again for me.
Well, that's not ours. That belongs to somebody else, a friend of ours, and he bought it and he's got one. So this is what a portable steam engine, what they call a portable.
Oh, right.
And
so it'd be more sort of to be towed to a field.
Be towed not to a field. Yes, it's a thing for. It's in effect it's a stationary engine on wheels.
Yeah, of course.
With a flywheel that would be used to drive a saw bench or in a factory driving mills, but they are often used in the woods for driving saw benches or but more stationary.
Yeah.
Or they were used for driving thrashing machines and things like that.
As you just said, an early stationary engine.
That's right.
Before the petrol ones and the Petters and the Wolsleys come along.
That's right. And
right, we'll just give it one quick look at this one before we go. Yes, again, thank you, William. And moving on.
Okay, we'll go back to the other.
Right, William, and we're on the second cat of yours.
That's right. Well, this is the D4D with a dozer blade on the front.
Yep.
And this actually came from my brother-in-law as well, when they sort of largely gave up some of their farming. And we had some work to do with this at the time, levelling banks down and on the field.
On the farm, yep.
Yeah, some work around the farm where we thought, right, well, we could do with the dozer. So we bought it and they used it quite a bit, but it really hasn't been used much at all in the last 5 years now.
Oh, really?
It's been standing about and hasn't gone anywhere, so it's now sort of redundant, really, I suppose.
You did say to me a little while ago it might be up for sale.
Yes.
Will you sell it, or
Well, I think
will you tear yourself away from it?
probably would do. I don't know that my son would, but I think if we're not going to use it, it probably could find another home, but I don't know whether it will. It might do one day, yes. There is somebody who has shown an interest in it.
Really?
Yes.
I won't ask you the monetary bits and pieces, but what year would this be then?
I think it's 1970s.
Yeah.
I must admit, I don't know much about
The
it.
sprockets are in fine, good
Yes,
condition,
they are.
aren't they?
Yeah,
Because
and
this is when the new cats, they put the sprocket above the ground so it wouldn't roll in the muck and the grub and everything else, whereas the older ones were left to
That's right.
grind all the muck up in the rear.
Yeah.
Was the death of them, really, wasn't it?
Well, it was, that's right. We moved on from that. That's
Yeah.
right.
And it's got a donkey engine on the back of it, on the side of it, I should say.
No, that's electric start. That one.
Electric start again.
There's no donkey engine.
No donkey engine at all.
That's got a direct starter. By then, they'd got starter motors on the direct onto the engine, like any other vehicle then.
Ah, okay.
Yeah, so you can get on there with some batteries on there, good batteries, and press a button and away she goes.
Okay. And the blade on the front of it is,
It's all hydraulic, of course, yes,
Yeah.
and can be angled.
and it's quite easy to remove, I understand, as well, isn't it?
Yes, it is. You can take it off quite well if you wanted to.
Yeah.
Yeah.
And what sort of size engine would be in this D4 then?
I must admit, I don't know.
That's okay. It's a cat engine anyway.
Yes, it is. Yeah, I'm afraid I'm not.
Well, perhaps someone will leave it in the comments then.
Yes, that's right. I'm sure somebody else on here will see it, will know something more about it than I do.
That's fantastic. And while we're next door to something, well, I call it special. And what have we got here then?
We've got an international TD6
Yep.
and made in America and brought over here early in the war, on part of the war scheme from.
Oh, is that called War Egg? Is that?
That's right, quite a lot of it. Well, to do with the war effort that the Americans helped. It was made in America, this one. Though most of them you see, they call them a BTD6 because they were made in Britain.
Oh, okay.
And then because then they set up a factory over here and made a lot of them over here on license to international in America.
Oh, okay.
This one is an original TD6.
And it's in the original colours and everything, isn't it?
Yes, it is, that's right. Yeah.
Now, do they call these bug eyes or frog eyes?
I don't know, you call them what you like.
No, okay. Now, it's got an unusual, well, to me, it's an unusual engine.
Yes, well this one really, it starts on petrol and then it goes over to diesel. Now, the fact is that it's petrol, when you start, you activate a lever over there, which opens the petrol supply to the carburettor and also connects up the electrics for the ignition on the for a spark,
Yep.
and decompresses each cylinder to a certain extent, so that
Okay.
when it starts up, it's got less compression and
It clicks
starts up
over.
on- yeah, that's right. It ticks over on petrol until it's warm enough. Then you activate this lever in the other direction, and it cuts off the petrol supply, opens up the diesel, increases the compression, and away you go on diesel.
Fantastic. To me, it looks like half the engine is petrol, which
That's
is
right.
this side.
You've got your carburettor here, and magneto here, and manifold here.
And the spark plugs
and the
just
spark
tucked-
plugs behind it.
On each cylinder.
Yes, one on each cylinder, 4-cylinder. And then round the other side, you've got the
Past the bug eyes, as I like to call them.
you've got the diesel pump here.
If you put your, yeah, I can see the diesel pump and the diesel injectors.
Diesel pump here, and these they're up there, pipes up to the injectors, which are along the top.
Fantastic. It's such an unusual thinking, really, isn't it, William?
Yes, it's an unusual way of starting it.
But so, what age was this thing?
Well, this would be about 1940, 42.
Yes.
Like the beginning of the war.
Considering they didn't have computers in those days, they worked things out on the drawing board, didn't they? Really?
Yes, that's right. Yes, so it's 5-speed. It can go along quite quickly. 5-speed, and this you've got throttle here, and left and right levers, and a clutch. Over here you have a hand clutch.
Oh, okay.
And and the pedals, 2 pedals, they're brakes, so that when you pull the lever, that disconnects the clutch.
Yeah.
And then you put your brake on, which then
Slews it
round.
So let me quickly go over that again. So that you pull each lever to stop the tracks on one side.
That's right. It
increases the brakes, and then that slews it round.
Yes.
And then you drop the lever back to the neutral position, and it drives straight.
That's right.
Fantastic.
Yeah. Yeah.
And it's a pulling machine. It hasn't got no 3-point linkage or anything like that, hasn't it?
No, that's right. It's purely for pulling ploughs and cultivators on a drawbar. Yeah.
And it's in, look, as I said, in wonderful condition and shed band, so it's not going to get rusty or anything. Anyway.
Rather dusty again, but
yeah. Well, thank you, William. Thank you for your time. I really appreciate coming along to seeing all your equipment, and
that's all right.
And showing me the history and the stories behind each equipment, and hopefully one day perhaps we can come back to your steam engines.
Well, we'll have to think about that another day.
Thank you for your time. Cheerio then.
Bye.
There you go. Another nice little video from William on his farm. Such enjoyable for me to see so old equipment. I know you feel the same to me. If you do, don't forget to give it a thumbs up and a like, and if you haven't subscribed to the channel, do that for me. Much appreciated. Cheerio for now.